Hey everyone, welcome to another reselling vlog. In today's video, I have a huge haul of vintage treasures to show you. Then I'm going to talk about how it's been going having two vintage booths. Prior to this year, I had never had my own vintage booths, and then I ended up with two, and I want to give you a little update on how those are going. And then we're going to go visit each booth because I've done a reset, and I think you guys might be interested in seeing how I transformed each of the spaces. So we're going to kick things off with the haul, and then we're going to end with all the booth updates. So the reason you're not going to see any shopping footage today is because I actually bought everything that I'm going to show you from two vintage resellers. Now I source from other resellers, usually in their booth space in an antique mall, but on occasion people will reach out to me and ask if I'd be interested in buying like a full lot of their stuff. So two wonderful viewers reached out to me within the same week, which was amazing. They had great stuff. So thank you, Julia, and thank you, Linda, for offering up your vintage treasures. So I'm interrupting the footage because I totally forgot to tell you the stuff you're about to see is not going to be available on Etsy right now. I usually make it available as soon as the video goes live, but for this particular haul, my intention was to take the stuff to one of my vintage booths immediately, and I wasn't going to make it available on Etsy. And if you guys wanted anything that you saw in the footage, you would just reach out to Blaine, the owner of Tiny Brambles, where I took everything to, and then he would process the order and ship it out to you. So he would do all that fulfillment. But it is busy season right now. The store is so packed because of the holidays, so he does not have time to ship out orders for me on my behalf. So anything that you guys see in the video that you want, just send me a DM, an email, a message, and I will go grab the item and then get it listed on Etsy for you. So you still can shop this video. It's just a little bit more complicated. But I'm going to be visiting my vintage booth several times over the next few days because it is the big holiday shopping weekend. So I'm happy to grab anything that you guys want. So the first I'm going to show you all came from one reseller. One of you guys, my viewers, this is all from Julia. So she sent me a bunch of pictures, and immediately it was a yes on these bookends with the owls. I mean, they are adorable and in great shape. I was so excited about these. She also offered up these adorable candle holders, like mid-century candle holders. They have the wood, and then they have like brass and then metal detail on the bottom. And I think the bottom part is actually like more painted, and this part is actually brass. So I thought these were so cute. Like the size of them is adorable. I want to keep these for myself so badly. But I just know they're going to do well at my vintage booth because mid-century stuff does really well there. And these are just, like the quintessential mid-century candle holders. So very excited about those. And speaking of candle holders, she also offered me up these very cool chrome ones. I'm hearing chrome and silver tone metals are getting more and more popular, like supposedly going to edge out brass at some point. I will believe it when I see it, but I haven't seen a lot more chrome in decor magazines, and so I think these could do well. So you guys may recognize these candle holders because I actually got a silver pair in a free box recently, but I got these from Julia. They're green. They, again, are the type of candle holders that you put the flaming liquid. It's not what it's called. You put the lighter fluid in here, the flaming liquid. The flaming liquid or the lighter fluid, just not gasoline, obviously. So you put them in here and then they just burn perpetually. So they're really fun. They're called permalite candles. So I was really excited to have always wanted these and ended up getting two different sets in about a week's span. And so these are like the quintessential mid-century permalite candles, and so I'm really excited to put these in my booth space, especially like the green ones because they're such a fun festive color. So when I take you to my booth later on in this video, I'm definitely gonna bring a few like holiday-y things just to kind of start the process of it looking a little bit more festive in there. Blaine, the owner, doesn't want full-on Christmas quite yet. And so I will not be stocking Christmas stuff. I'll be stocking mostly like wintry stuff. And speaking of wintry stuff, so I have always kind of wanted a set of these snowball candle holders because my reselling friend Laura Caldwell, who you guys all know, she is always looking for these. These are something that she uses in her own holiday decor. So I'm like, oh, I kind of like them because they're snowballs. I'm not a glass person typically, but I thought these were great. And of course, for the season that we're in, these are going to be, I think, really popular. So I will probably bring these. I got to remember to bring a little like votive to go in it, so that way the person knows. But I got two sets of these types kind of votives from Julia. I also got this set from her. So I know some of you have issues with holes, so I probably should have put a trigger warning. This has holes. So anyone who has that condition, where they get really like creeped out by holes. These have holes in it, which I had no idea that was the thing until you guys saw a vase that I had that had a pattern of holes in it, and a lot of you are like, oh God, I couldn't watch it. It gave me like shivers, and I felt bad because I was like, I didn't even know there was a thing. So a new thing that I learned from you guys in the comment section. Another thing that I got from Julia, which I thought when I originally saw it, it was gonna be a small set, and it's actually quite large. I'm really excited that it's bigger, but this actually has like the paperwork, so it's from Italy, but it's a carving set, which, you know, obviously we are in carving season right now, and I thought this was really great and lovely, very like streamlined style, very mid-century looking. So I thought this was great. These were from Italy. And so these are the types of things I like to have in my booth right now because it definitely speaks to the season we're in. And the last thing I grabbed from her was this beautiful set of cherry salt and pepper shakers. I thought they were lovely. They even had the original stickers on top, and they came in their original packaging, which anytime I can see the original packaging, it really like delights me, because you guys may not know this, but my actual like career and profession is I'm a marketing consultant and a graphic designer and a copywriter. And so I really get a kick out of seeing, you know, packaging and the types of font choices and typography and just the way, you know, things were designed, you know, all those years ago. It just, and also realizing how much the past is informing design trends right now, you know, when it comes to graphic design. So anyways, I get a kick out of like packaging from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It was really exciting for me professionally. So those are the things I got from Julia. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you and everything you put in the box and offered up to me for my vintage booth. And so the next round of stuff I got from one of you guys named Linda. Now Linda actually lives out of state, but she was coming to Portland, so bless her heart, she decided to pack a box for me when she road tripped to visit. And so I got a lot of art from her. So I got this very awesome horse painting, because horse anything has a buyer. And the rustic frame is really cool, and it is artist signed in the bottom. So I thought it was really phenomenal. So yeah, anything animal related I find has a buyer, which I keep telling you guys. And I also got this really interesting painting that's kind of springy, but also extremely moody. And you guys have heard me say it many times, moody art is selling really well. So this frame is phenomenal. And the other kind of fun surprise is on the back, there's another piece of art. So whoever did this also practiced on the back. And I love when you get that kind of surprise, like painting or drawing on the back of a framed piece of art, especially like when you're like deconstructing something that has been framed that you got at the thrift store, and you're like taking it out, and then you realize that there's something cool behind it. It's just a fun surprise. So anyways, thought this was really great, and it kind of has a matching friend a little bit. Now this is definitely giving me more fall vibes, but it has that same type of moody, like more abstract feel. The frame is really, really good. So yeah, I was excited about both of these, and especially them together. I thought that they were a really great pair. Now the coolest piece of art I got from her is this awesome cathedral painting. So if you look close, you can see that it's a cathedral, especially up here. But from far away, it kind of is giving me like, I don't know, like sci-fi vibes. But it is very, very well framed. I mean, look at all that layer of framing. It has like the breathable panel in the back. It has the most amazing matting. It's just, you know, a very, very cool piece. I thought it was lovely. Now, I live in a mid-century home with a lot of wood paneling. This would probably look amazing in here if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, this type of moody art is just, it just doesn't go with the rest of our art, which kills me. I'm like, ooh, should I devote a room to something like this? Because it is so great. I'm gonna make this available in my vintage booth. I'm sure it's gonna sell quickly because it is so unique. But when she showed me this picture, I was like, huh. Yes, it's a very cool piece. So another piece of art, another piece of animal art is this adorable cat. And cat art sells. I think it's because people want original art of their pet, and most people can't afford that or don't have the talent to do it themselves. And so anytime they can see a piece of art that resembles their pet enough, they get really excited. I'm assuming that's what it is. I know that's how I felt when I had a dog. I was like, anytime I saw it and it looked like her, I was like, oh, I gotta buy it, because I wasn't gonna paint her a picture of herself. So anyways, really excited about this piece, and hopefully someone out there has this pet. Now, speaking of cats, I also picked up this amazing cat crewel from her. It is wonderful. I love the colors. I love the circle, the composition. It's just very well done. It's framed. The frame on the back, the paper is a little bit, you know, whatever. But frankly, most people don't care what the back of a picture looks like, because you're hanging it from the front. Or rather, you're hanging it to show the front. And so I thought this was really lovely. It's definitely 3D. It's just a really, really cool piece. And in really great shape. The frame is pretty good. I may do a little bit of cleanup on the frame before I take it over. It looks like there's like something that like a magic eraser could kind of get rid of some of these scuffs. And anytime I have anywhere that looks like it's like scratched down to like the color of the natural wood, sometimes I can use some of those repair pens and stuff to make it look a lot better. So yeah, I was really excited about this because I rarely come across cat crewels, which is very exciting. Some more crewels. I got this adorable bonsai set. It's a set of 3. So this one here looks kind of like a jade plant maybe, and then this little guy, and then this like orchid looking plant. So yeah, 3 together I thought was great. They're behind glass, so they don't have any stains on them. And they're also like all shared this like lovely mid-tone wood frame. And so it's a set of 3. I'll probably sell them individually because you're going to my booth space. If it was online, I probably would sell them as a set of 3. But in the booth setting, I will do them individually, because individually on their own, I think that they would do well just because they're so great. So yeah, I was really excited about these crewels. So something totally weird I bought from her, because she's like, you might like this, because she knows I like weird stuff, is this person statue, like this nude statue. Really, really wild. Now, I do have a buyer that buys ceramic heads from me, and so I don't know if she'd be interested in a ceramic person, so we will see. But I thought that this is just such a strange, unique piece, and weird often sells, so that's why I had to get it. Okay, so a couple more things to show you from my haul. I also got these 2 baskets. This one I actually plan to put on Etsy. So one of the things I am holding back. This one, I'm not sure about the blue. I thought I might like paint it a different color. So TBD on that, but I thought that the loops on it were really, really sweet. It was very like sculptural versus like this one, which is more like a utility. But I sell wall baskets really well on Etsy, so that's why that is why this is going there. And then the other thing I'm holding back for Etsy is this organizer with the key hooks. I have sold this many times, and so it's a very easy like list and sell for me on Etsy. And I think it will sell for a lot more on Etsy than it will in my vintage booth, which is why I am going to put it on Etsy instead. And it's really dirty and gross. So I got to shine this up before I sell it. But yeah, that is everything I think that I got from these 2 gals. So thank you guys again both for thinking of me and offering up your, you know, your decor items and your treasures and all the stuff that you've had stored away, because I really appreciate it and it's gonna look great in my booth. I also totally forgot to mention that I got this beautiful lamp from Julia. I absolutely adore it. Love the wood tones, the pleated shade. It's just so cute. I decided just to set it there just for a second, and then of course I fell in love with it, and now it's staying in my home forever. Okay, guess what, you guys? This footage you're watching right now is actually different than the footage that you were watching 2 seconds ago. This is a week and a half into the future. I realized when I was editing this video that, surprise, I somehow deleted the end of the video, which was like, great. Love that. So I am wearing the same top and I am in the same hair and makeup as the footage you just saw for continuity purposes, but this is technically the future. So we just ended with the haul. Now we're gonna shift gears. I'm gonna take you to my booth space at Tiny Brambles, and I'm gonna take you to my booth space at Curiosities, and I'm gonna show you kind of the changes I've made recently, and then we're gonna come back here and then I'm gonna talk about how it's going having 2 vintage booths this year. Okay, you guys, welcome to my vintage booth. It looks a lot different from the last time I showed you because this is new. These coffee tables I just got a few weeks ago, and then so this, which was in the center, has been moved to the side. So this is now performing for me, which is great because you guys know I have some underperforming areas. This whole side was one of them. So excited that this is now actually selling things on this side and the center, which is awesome. Brought in a lot of pieces that I was just showing you guys on many of my haul videos. Created a few little vignettes, added some more art to the art stand, which sells a lot of art for me. and then put up some vignettes and stuff around some things you may recognize from today's video and from my Belgium series. So yeah, this art wall I need to kind of reconfigure a little bit. I've been trying to just use the nails where they are, but I need to kind of take them out and reposition them because they look kind of crazy, but I'm running out of time. And then put some art here on the table in the center, a few like holiday things. I put some trees up there. I need to bring in more. I'm just trying to dip my toe in it. I have this art bin over here that does well for me, and a cute little vignette of this little wiener dog. I love him so much. And some more candle holders since we're in candle season. So yeah, this is how it's looking at the moment. And hopefully some of the new pieces that I brought in specifically for the booth will do well. So welcome to my booth space at Curiosities. So it is a dealer work night, which means they close the store early and then we can like take down decorations and move things around and do some like big structural changes. So usually I would have my mom help me because we share this booth, but she is not here at the moment. So I'm trying to decide what exactly I can actually do on my own in terms of moving like furniture around. I kind of want to do like a swap-see, like putting the clothes on this wall, the art on this wall, trying to figure out what to do. So I did not come here with a game plan, which is a problem. And I need to bring Christmas stuff in, so I'm going to probably remove, like, not just, like, this holiday stuff, but remove some items that I think are just, like, I'm not sure they're going to sell. That way I can bring in some stuff that's new and fresh. So it's important to move your stuff around, and so I'm going to do something, but don't have a plan. Don't have a plan, but I'll show you a little before and after. Okay, so here is the before, and so you can see I have, like, holiday decor and other things. This is what I was thinking about moving to like this wall, but then I got to figure out like what am I doing here. So, and there's just stuff that just hasn't seen really any interest, so gotta kind of figure out what I want to do to freshen up the space and move some things around and also declutter a little bit too. I'm also going to take out some of the clothes that are kind of seasonally specific to make room for more sweaters and stuff. Okay, so here is the final reset. I moved really almost everything around. So this area used to be over here. So the clothing rack is now deeper into the booth. And I put a vignette in front. So when someone comes in to look at the clothes, they can't help but see the vignette. And then they're gonna come over to the clothes, and then they're deeper into the booth compared to before. And then I try, because this is hit so hard by like younger shoppers, I try to put some stuff that I thought might appeal to them, like the doggy and the brass butterfly and some other brass pieces and these little mirrors and things. This little grab bag that my mom put together that has an owl in it and cowboy boots, like things that I felt were kind of like seasonal, but also something someone younger might want. So we'll see. We'll see how this little vignette does. Okay, you guys, we are back in my studio space and I'm ready to give you an update on how it's going having two vintage booths. So you guys know prior to this year, I only ever really sold on Etsy. I did a little consigning with Tiny Brambles before I got a dedicated space, and then I did like 2 markets. So when the opportunities came up that I could have 2 booth spaces this year, I absolutely said yes because I've always wanted to give it a try. So while I'm happy to report that it's going well, I'm not only making rent, but I'm making money. It has definitely complicated my business having 2 vintage booths. So here are some reasons why. So first off, I don't separate my inventory. I have stuff that is on Etsy and available in my vintage booth. And so that has presented a huge problem for me because I want to make sure that people have any opportunity to buy my stuff. But because I have stuff listed on Etsy that is also available in my vintage booth, stuff will sell on Etsy, and then when I go to get it out of my vintage booth, that item may have either sold or gotten stolen or gone missing. So I've had to cancel a few orders, like Etsy sales, that I hate having to disappoint people that way. And so that is one of the problems that I've been having when I have inventory that is available online and in a booth. And the other problem that I'm having is sourcing enough stuff for my vintage booths. So my typical workflow is I go out sourcing, I bring that stuff back home, I haul it for you guys on video, and then I make it available on Etsy for you guys to buy. So because my YouTube following has grown and my Instagram following has grown, and you guys are so wonderfully supportive of my business, all the stuff that I've been showing people, it largely sells within the first like several days of it being listed on Etsy, which means I don't have enough inventory then to bring into my vintage booths, which is a problem. So I know it's a really good problem to have a very fast sell-through rate on Etsy, but that means the stuff that is going into my vintage booth is not the exciting stuff that I'm showing you guys on video. So that whole situation is the reason why I decided to take this surplus of like bonus inventory that I got from those resellers, and rather than have them hit Etsy, I was gonna funnel it straight into my vintage booth, and that way the good stuff would go there first. But after I did that, I realized two things. One is I like making money and I like selling things fast. So things sell faster on Etsy than they do in my vintage booths, which is very typical. And so I was like, oh man. So I have to wait for that stuff to sell in my booth versus if I would have just shown it in this video, half that stuff or more could have sold within 24 hours. So I was like, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be making money. I need to make decisions to make money first. And so I was like, oh. So I immediately had regrets. And then I thought, okay, you guys can still buy this stuff. I'll just have Blaine, the owner of the shop, ship the stuff that you guys are interested in for me, because he does do that on occasion. When anytime someone out of state sees something in my like booth footage, they'll reach out to him and then he can coordinate fulfillment on that. He's really great and lovely at doing that for me. But in this circumstance, when I asked him like, would you want to do that for this video? He's like, yeah, sure. And then now it's several weeks later and we're realizing his bandwidth he's like at his max capacity because it is the holiday season. And so he really doesn't have the bandwidth to ship the stuff out. So I was like, well, oh shoot. So now if you guys want anything on the video, I have to go to the booth and grab the items out, get them listed, and then you can buy them. So because it's the end of the year and 2025 is just around the corner, I've been thinking a lot about this problem that I'm having because I can't be in this spot all of next year and for the future because it's definitely taking a mental toll on keeping it all straight. And so if any of you guys out there have an e-commerce business and vintage booths, how are you handling sourcing enough stuff? How are you handling the fulfillment? Do you keep your inventory separate? I need to know these things because I'm obviously struggling to figure it out. And I feel like I have not failed, but I feel like I have not cracked this nut at all. And I'm not confident I'm going to next year. Okay, so that's where I'm at with my vintage booth. Now, I feel like it may have come off a little bit more downer than it should be because having those spaces has been also really, really wonderful on whole other levels, which is being part of these amazing two communities and interacting with all the resellers and people that have booths next to mine. It's been fantastic. I love going into the shops and I love interacting with the customers and I love styling out the spaces. So there are so many amazing bonuses and perks to having a vintage booth that's different than the selling aspect of it. That's the other part that I would never really want to give up my vintage booths just because I would really miss all the camaraderie and the community around being in a store. So that is all I have to share with you today. So thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned, if there's anything in the haul footage or in my booth footage that you guys are interested in, just let me know because it's the holiday season. I'm in my vintage booths all the time, and so I'm happy to pull stuff if you guys are interested in it. If you're looking for more thrifting and decorating content between my haul videos here on YouTube, make sure you check me out on Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care.